If you want your Shopify data, products, orders, customers, inventory sitting in a Google Sheet that updates itself, this is the video. I'm going to set one up from scratch, show you how to refresh it, how you do it without ever leaving your spreadsheet, and how to change it later. So first, let's see what is one-way export. One-way export means that data flows in one direction, out of Shopify into Google Sheets. Your store is the source of truth. The sheet is a mirror. That means you can sort it, filter it, pivot it, chart it, share it with your team, and you can't break anything. Nothing you type in that sheet ever goes back to Shopify. So if you do one edits to flow back, that's two-way, and that's a different video. So one-way export is for reporting, for analysis, for sharing data with people you don't want inside your Shopify admin. Okay, let's build one. So from the app home, you can click configure spreadsheet, and it will take you to this page. So the step one is the sync direction. We have three options: one-way export, one-way import, and two-way. We want the first one-way export data from your store to Google Sheets. We click select. One thing to know up front is that you can't change direction later. So editing an existing spreadsheet locks this. Pick the right the first time, and if you get it wrong, you can just duplicate the spreadsheet and start over. Then the step two is choosing a template. This is a Shopify dataset you're pulling. You can choose products, variants, orders, customer, inventory, collections. Here are the different groups of datasets or templates. Templates aren't just pick a table. They are pre-built column setups for a specific job. There is a search box here at the top. Type what you are after. Let's say inventory. You can write orders, and you will narrow it down fast. I'll pick products. And notice as I selected, new steps appear below. So on the third step, this is the step that matters most. You get three different tabs. You have data, you have manage columns, and you have preview. If we click on manage columns, this is where you add and remove fields. You'll see everything available for these data sets. For the products one, you get columns related to the product, columns that are related to the variant level, and also other groups like, for instance, meta fields at the product level and meta fields at the variant level, and also inventory fields that are particular to one location, like in this case, customer service and location two. So once you know what you want, you can basically click on the column and it will appear at the end. It won't be populated. You can click on preview here. So you will get it populated. In this case, well, this meta field doesn't hold a value. But yes, then back to this data tab. Here's where you can shape the layout. You can drag columns to reorder. You can click on a column and rename it from, let's say, title product to just title. This is a name that will appear in the spreadsheet, but it will be connected to the field in Shopify name title product. So this is good if you want to just show a different name on that particular header in the spreadsheet. So the field above refers to the Shopify field, and this text input refers to the spreadsheet header, how you will see it on the spreadsheet. Also, you can hide columns. If this is required, you won't be able to do so. But as you can see here, you can collapse it in the spreadsheet. It's important to note that if you want a column to be hidden always, you have to do it right here. All the configuration that you want to see on the spreadsheet on these columns that are synced, you need to do it in this in Ecommix in the configuration. If you do it on the spreadsheet, it will work, but then when you sync it again, that configuration will get overridden by the Ecommix configuration, what you do in here. So if you hide it, you see that it's collapsed in the same way that you will collapse it in the spreadsheet. So this is good if you want to have like a clean view in the spreadsheet, but at the same time, at any time you want to expand it and see it there. It's mostly used with IDEs, things like that are not really human readable, but are useful sometimes. So this hidden state persists after every sync. And then here you have the filters at the bottom. So you can add conditions so you only export what you need. Let's say, for instance, active products, right? You click on the check here. And also you can say for the last 20 days, for instance. created in the last 20 days. You can add multiple filters and combine them with and. Fewer rows means faster sync, so it's good to have that into account. And always before committing, you can click on preview so you can see what these filters do, right? And you can see that we're only having active products right here. And well, that's pretty much the format data. There's nothing else to be added here. You can also add columns in this way. You can click on the plus sign, and when you select a field, you can add one by one if you don't want to do it in bulk like you do it on the managed column model. But yeah, it works the same way. Basically, you just add a column and hit preview, and it will populate. Then we have the Google Sheets destination. This is a step 4, where this data actually lands. 2 choices: create new spreadsheet. We make this file for you automatically on the first sync. This is the easiest path and what I recommend for starting out. Or use existing spreadsheet is the second one. This will link a sheet you already have. That's for when the data needs to feed formulas, a dashboard, or a report that you have already built. So you can choose then where this spreadsheet is located. If it's on your Drive, the Google account you connected, you will see it listed here. You can just place the spreadsheet URL in this format and then write which is the tab inside that spreadsheet what you want the data to land, and then the display name is just, as it says here, a label to identify it in the app. So when this is created, this is the name of this particular configuration. So I will use create new spreadsheet because it's easiest and it's already populated. Step number 5 is the style. So we can choose how our spreadsheet will be formatted. Off gives you raw data, no formatting at all. Best if you build your own formatting on top and you don't want us touching it. So you can choose this configuration. And on applies our formatting after every sync. It has clean headers, readable columns. If you're just going to look at this sheet, you can turn it on and you can click on include status row in header. Basically, it adds an extra row saying how many items were refreshed and when was the last refresh. I'm going to choose off in this case. And the last step, this is step number 6, is how you want this spreadsheet to be refreshed automatically. This is what turns a one-time dump into something that maintains itself. You can set it off and the sheet only updates when you sync it manually. I'm going to show you how to do that later. But if you turn it on, you pick the cadence every so many hours, minutes, daily. You can sync it weekly. You can sync it up to 10 minutes on the goal plan. So it tells you when it will be the next automatic refresh. It will happen right now if I click on save, and the next one will be in 10 minutes. So yeah, that's it. Live Shopify data in Google Sheets. So I will choose hourly in this case, and I'm going to click on save. Okay, the spreadsheet is created, and it will open the spreadsheet on another tab in my browser. Okay, so your spreadsheet exists and it's got data in it. Now, how do you refresh it on demand? If we go back to Ecommix, we will see this model. This refers to this particular synchronization, the products one we just did. And if we don't have this open, we can basically on the main page, we will see the quick start at the top, and then it will appear this section of your spreadsheets. You will have it right here. This is the sync direction. It tells you that it's a one-way sync. It's schedule, how many items it refreshed, the status, when it was the last execution. And here you click on sync and it will open the same model we saw a couple of seconds ago. Here we have 2 buttons. Open spreadsheet will open this spreadsheet, and export, when I click on it, the last 5 execution will go from 1 to 2 because we're doing a new sync 3 minutes after we created it. And well, the number of items will be the same because we haven't created or deleted any products in the Shopify admin. But if we did so, it will show the correct number of items that change between one synchronization and the next one. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the manual way. This is how you run it on demand. But uh, just one thing to say it loud: a manual sync and a schedule sync do exactly the same thing. Scheduling isn't a different mechanism. It's just the same export on a timer. So if you are waiting on a schedule run and you need the data now, don't wait. Just hit the export button here. And there is another way to do this, which is basically useful when you don't want to go to the Shopify. If you work on the spreadsheet, you can basically click on this link, and this is our Google Sheets add-on. You can install it from the Google Workspace Marketplace. Click on install. And when you go to Google Sheets, you will find it under extensions. You click launch, and basically you can sync from inside the spreadsheet itself. Um, when this opens, there will be different options. It already shows, it already knows which is the spreadsheet or which is the configuration in Ecommix that it's connected to. So you click on export and it will do the same job that we just did, but within the Google Sheet spreadsheet that we are working on. You can even configure the automatic refresh here. And as you can see, it's already showing the configuration we have set at the beginning. So the export is going on. And if we go back here, you will see the new execution showing up in Ecommix. So everything is in sync. What you do in Shopify, what you do in Google Sheets, whether you're using the Google Sheets add-on or Ecommix, everything it's synchronized so it can work together. Okay, so if we go back, well, as you can see here, we have another execution, which is the schedule one. This is that runs every hour and it shows us schedule export. So we now have 4 executions. All right, so what if we want, what if we come here and see that maybe we're missing a column or something that we want to see is not showing up? We can always edit the spreadsheet configuration. You can do so by clicking on the 3 dots here. You can edit the spreadsheet, you can duplicate it, and you can go straight to the automatic refresh. So let's click on edit, and you get the exact same 6 steps from the same form you built it with, pre-filled with everything you chose. So here we can always add a column, let's say between vendor and is gift. And let's say we wanted the description to appear after that. We can do that and click on save, and it will save this configuration. What this does sometimes when you add a new column, it will tell you that this configuration added 1 column or the number of columns you added, and this is within the range managed by Ecommix. So let's say that in this spreadsheet you had a custom formula or something right on the last column, on after the last column. So this is basically telling you that whatever, because you are adding a new column, it will overwrite this one because it needs 1 extra column to write the new configuration. So this is just a warning. If you agree with that, just click continue and it will basically overwrite this column because it will move size to the column L and tags to the column K, just to make some space for the description one. So let's wait a couple of seconds. And there it is. It is updating now. And you can see on column E we have description. And like we said, column L now has the size. So this is worth to be noted. Then, as always, you can, like we showed earlier, we can change the automatic refresh schedule. If we notice that maybe we need to increase it, instead of once an hour, we can do it once every 10 minutes. We can do so here and click on save. Another useful template in one-way export that most people use is the orders one. And by the way, you can always choose a template from the quick start. Quick start is what appears once you go to Google Sheet Sync. It's here at the top, and you don't need to go to the create configure spreadsheet button. You can do it right here. You can search it, and basically you will get all the templates that you see on that page. But here, the only thing to pay attention at is the read-only and editable. Read-only are all the templates that will go using the one-way export configuration, and editable is what will appear when you have the two-way, which is we will explain on a later video. But here we can click on the configure, right? And it will open the orders line items template already selected. And because I click on configure, I can get to, configure different things about this template, like removing or adding columns and stuff like that. So this will create the orders template. You can see that the fields that you get to choose are completely different than products. You have all the ones that are related to the orders, like the price, the status, line items. This is important if you want to see the products within an order, what was uh, actually bought, and as well different meta fields that are always useful to be added. You get to include images if you want on the spreadsheet. Let's choose the product image here, so you can see that, and also information about the customer and shipping address and billing address. So let's choose that one and click on preview to see if it was selected. Yeah, and as you can see, this is a formula. So once you export it, it will convert into an actual image. So yeah, I will encourage you to explore the different templates. You can always click here to see all the ones we have. These are mostly the most popular configurations that our users use. And when you see this thunder right here, it tells you that it's exported in real time. In this case, this is when an order is created. So if you select this one and click on save, what will happen is that it won't go straight into exporting all your history. It will wait for an order to be placed, and right when that happens, it will populate the row for that order. This is important when you want to wait for the schedule to run every 10 minutes, 30 minutes, hourly, or whatever you have on schedule. You can use these templates for different events, like when an order is fulfilled, when an order is paid, when an order is updated. And then if you have any other pipeline that acts upon a row that is added on the spreadsheet, this is where this configuration comes handy. Okay, let me go back to the order line items configuration that I had here. And again, let's choose the image. Let's choose these two ones. Okay, in this case, variant doesn't have an image. That's because it's empty. That's why it's empty. And let's add a style this time. I don't want to schedule it. I just set it off. Okay, and this warning is because we inserted formulas for the image, so we just allow the access here. And the image will be, in this case, it's expanded, but you can always make it a square. So you have the small picture of each item. And by the way, if you wanted to show it on the first column, you can do so in the configuration. Don't do it here manually. Don't just copy this and move it into the first position, because the next refresh will basically override it. Just go back to the edit and drag that column into the first position, so you always see it on that particular position. Okay, so this will take a while because my store has thousands and thousands of rows, but it's the same mechanism as the other templates. If you see on the spreadsheet that the order should be different, in this case we are showing the newest at the top, but you want the oldest one, you can go to settings in Ecommix, and here you have some preferences like the date format, language, time zone, but you can get to show the oldest at the top. So it will switch the order for the orders templates. And also sometimes, for instance, we have orders and products in two different spreadsheets, but sometimes you wanted to have it on the single one. You can edit that on one of the, sorry, you can edit it on one of the spreadsheets configuration. Let's say I want to export the products on the orders one. We can go to edit. Let's copy the URL because this is important. I'm copying the orders URL that holds only the data tab for now. But if I go back here and go to Google Sheet destination, what we need to do is to specify the existing spreadsheet. So we overwrite it here, paste the order spreadsheet into the products configuration, and we can choose a name like products here. We click on save. Because this is a one-way export, after you click save, it will start syncing. Let's wait for it to finish, but we can go to the orders, and you see the second sheet is called product. Well, that's because we are inserting the products configuration into this spreadsheet now. So moving forward, any refresh you have won't hit this old spreadsheet because it's not linked to any Ecommix configuration anymore, but it will refresh this second tab right here. And you can, style it on the edit configuration so it matches the orders ones, or apply your own style. This is really useful. You can always configure the spreadsheets in a way that it makes sense to you, so you don't keep dozens of spreadsheets in your drive. You only keep one, and all the information about your Shopify store is saved in that particular spreadsheet. One common error is updating the tab name in the spreadsheet, but not in Ecommix. And that way, Ecommix doesn't know to which spreadsheet tab link the information that it needs to. So if you are going to rename data to orders, you will need to go back to the configurations here, go to orders line items, because this is where we define the configuration for that particular spreadsheet. And in the Google Sheet destination, just rename it to orders and save it. This way, any scheduled refresh you have, or any manual refresh you need to do, clicking on the export button will run successfully. Okay, last, I want to show you other templates we have. I won't go in depth about them, but you can always see here we have customers, different information about email subscribers, and if you want to run different campaigns, this is a good place to start. We have sales. Most of them are about orders, what we just did, but you can get to export only open orders, by vendor, by tags. Really useful templates that you might want to share with your supplier. And last, we have analytics. Analytics, if you are familiar with the concept of analytics here in Shopify, this is basically where you can create new explorations of your data. We can ask sales by month, and it will generate a ShopifyQL query. That ShopifyQL query that it generates, you can copy it here. It takes some time, but you can copy it and then go to the empty ShopifyQL query. And this is a template where you can place any query you might want to test. So it will run the preview at the bottom here. This is a development source, that's why it's on 0, but any query you have here, you can ask Sidekick to give you the query. You can test it here with different visualization types, but in the spreadsheet, it will look like a table, so always pick table. And you will see that same result set in Ecommix. So you will have the ShopifyQL query results in Google Sheets after you click on save. And this, again, can be refreshed to run automatically, and it's very useful for different analysis that you want to make on your store.